I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen now to the economy because the tariffs are coming in tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I just laugh at like Trump, people who support Trump, even Canadians. And for me, it's kind of like, oh, okay. He doesn't really care about you because you're Canadian. The only people he cares about are the half of the country who support him, and those supporters are mostly in those Republican states, right? So, yeah, so we're good. 1.8 is like well within the range. So it is what it is. The tariff is what it is. He's going to make everybody hurt. Inflation's going to go up. And basically, if you voted for him against that, then you're kind of like, it's a bit silly.
So I did some research on the tariff. Want to see both sides, Canada and United States. Who's going to win from this? Who's going to suffer? Have you guys checked it out?
I've tried to stay away from politics too much. A lot.
We're gonna suffer big
since
time.
the election
This
because
is not only politics. This is economy.
Yes, but that I've seen a little bit. But I'm curious to see what you found.
Our economy is doing good right now, but these tariffs are gonna put us in a big hole.
They're definitely
gonna kill us.
Up.
Oh, inflation, salaries aren't keeping up with
We're
inflation.
gonna be in a tough
Salaries
place.
are not keeping up with inflation.
No.
Oh.
You want to raise? You gotta work for it. Basically, gotta work, bitch. Britney Spears.
So I'm trying to understand the logic of why Trump would want to do this. How does it benefit? Because from what I see, there's at least 11 points that can actually hurt the United. So one would obviously be increased costs, right, of Canadian products, and
all products.
And you don't think Canada compared to the United States? Yes, USA has the big economy and stuff, but the United States has a lot of natural resources that U.S. imports. Just think of lumber. Building houses and stuff like that. A lot of lumber comes from Canada.
Yeah, but Trump is saying we have our own lumber.
Trump is saying
we have our own natural resources that we don't.
They do, but it's not enough to support their whole economy, right? It's
there are a lot of people there, man.
If they always had that, they would never have to import anything. Right?
Exactly.
They're willing to take a hit in order to get what they want.
Here's the thing.
What do they want?
They want to control the borders.
Okay, but is the border really that?
The fentanyl. They want to control the.
That is just the excuse to be able to do this. It's an emergency measure to border fentanyl. The problem with natural resources is America doesn't have people who go work and cut down the trees and make lumber and work the factories to make steel. Their unemployment is at crazy low, 3 to 5%, something crazy like that. And then they want to import. They're doing all the raids to go to deport all of the illegals. They can't. They need. There's no way, even if they had the resources. That's why they need to import.
That's it. There's no up value by doing this.
Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. If you're loving this content, hit the like button and subscribe and join to our awesome community. Ring that notification bell so you'll never miss a beat. Together, we're building something so special. Let's grow this channel and let's have some fun along the way. For some more content, check out these other fantastic channels. You got Checkin Habs, one-stop shop for all those things. Habs, sports, we got so much information on sports, guys. Come on. Hello. And Checkin Reports, stay informed of the latest political news and current events. Hello. So that's it, fam. Come and check us out.
Right, consumer prices are going to go up. Even stuff like steel, aluminum, agricultural products. These are all things like United States imports them, not because they want to import them from Canada, not because Canada has the best, because they're desperate for it. They actually need this stuff, right?
They need it.
And
however, having said that, if this was 100 years ago, it's not like that today, but if you do that and prices go up, obviously then industry is going to be more attractive to do within the US to start making steel again because the prices, somebody will invest. That's the idea, but it's not going to happen.
But now you're eliminating competition. So now what happens when, I don't know how many lumber companies there are in the United States, but let's say there's 5 of them. Before you had 10 because you had Canada lumber, right? Now there's only 5. What do you think these guys are going to do? They're going to do like in the gas, like the oils, come up with a price together and they raise the prices themselves because they're getting rid of the competitiveness, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things they actually say. Now there's less companies to compete with, and now they can control the price more. So that's another thing that can happen if these companies become greedy, right?
Before you change, I wonder if part of it, this always bothers me. we're talking about this in the car on the way here, Manny, about the need for industry, and the world's going to shit, right? We all know that it's going to shit. There's going to be a point.
So positive.
It is, and we're getting one step closer, right? Our parents probably thought the same way when they were our age, and they're like, the world's going to shit, and everything's been fine for the last 40 years, But there is more and more need for water. I was telling you before, the water was in the news, right? Trump is starting to really push about turning on the tap because of Los Angeles, California, the fires. We have to turn on the tap because California doesn't have enough water, right? Resources are going to become very scarce.
What was he talking about opening? I know, and I heard about
Canada opening the tap because in our free trade agreement, in our free trade, I think water is not in the free trade agreement. Not. Canada's not for sale, guys. Sorry, and it's literally in there. There's a line that says excluding water.
Yeah, because water is like oil. Well, water is going to be.
So there's going to be a battle for resources, and America. If we go to another COVID, or we go to war with China, or they go to war with China, because Canada's we just follow the Americans. They're going to need industry. So look at COVID. There was no fucking computer chips. They need to start doing this. So it is a national security thing, and I think that's where they start opening up the door because they're like, we need to do stuff here and nobody's investing because they're not making money. So I think that's the thing they're not telling us, personally.
But what company would want for the United States and pay fucking triple the wages that they could in Mexico or any India or not Bangladesh, like Vietnam or Thailand? That's why companies are leaving the United States, and he's also saying stuff about the tariffs. It's going to keep American companies here, right? Because you're going to buy American because you're not going to buy imported goods
because they're the same price.
But you think if I'm the only guy selling the garden hoses, all of a sudden you think I'm going to keep it at the same price I was before? I'm going to give you a good price. I'm the only guy in town. Raise the prices.
Exactly.
But somebody needs to make the garden hoses. So the guy.
Let's say it's American made and everything.
Yeah.
It's American made, so it's more expensive because you're paying everyone. Imagine they're unionized and stuff for that, right? So it's going to be the price is going to go up. And then second to that, you only can sell United States. So because I don't know if he's going. Did he do Mexico too? Or he's just doing Canada.
Yeah, Mexico too.
Starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay, he has to sell it to Europe. Now Europe, it's a whole new game. You have to ship it there. It's more expensive to sell it. So all this easy access to a market that they had is going to affect them. So he's going to, as a guy who has hoses, yes, you have less competition. No one else is making hoses. Is the market big enough? Are you going to really get a bump, I think, in the market?
So if you start going into a trade war, I think Americans are better positioned to weather the storm because their economy is richer and they do have the know-how to produce. They do have the natural resources. So if everybody tomorrow says, we are not shipping outside our country anymore, I think the Americans are going to come out on top.
Yeah, but you're forgetting that he's also threatening Europe.
No, I agree. But
so if he threatens all your trade partners...
That's what's crazy.
You're gonna have this war of attrition of trade war of attrition against all your partners. How are you gonna win? Are you gonna?
I agree 100%. So I think the problem with the national security view is that because he doesn't like the UN anyways. I don't know why they don't like the UN and they complain. The UN has basically kept us safe.
UN or NATO?
UN both. But they've kept us safe since the last World War, right?
Yeah.
Because don't go fucking try and invade Canada because the U.S. is going to come in. Don't go and invade.
They didn't help for the Iraq War.
Yeah, well, that's different. That's like oil and stuff, or Middle East. That's politics, What else you have on your list there?
Well, I still want to bring up the tariffs. I'm a little sidetracked.
Yeah.
Job losses, right? So everybody that was selling stuff to Canada slows down. We don't need you anymore, right? So that's going to affect job losses, which is part of
the States.
Yeah. Well, this kind of goes both ways.
I wonder if they're doing it, the tariffs are doing it on purpose in terms of, obviously doing it on purpose because it's a decision they're making full conscious. But if America is still the biggest consumer in the world, right? And
that's what they are, a consumer. So why would you want mostly, I would say, export. And even another thing about Trump, he talks about we have this deficit of export and import. Like he thinks like Canada owes us money for some. He thinks as like they owe us. Canada owes us money because they're not trading at the same level as us. We're buying more of their products than they're buying of our products. I think that's what it is. We're buying more of Canada products than they're buying of our products.
Or like way less people.
So, job losses.
Yeah, so people that any company that had a quite a market share in Canada and was selling to Canada, now they're not going to be selling as much, right? So a lot of these companies are going to let go a lot people that they don't make enough money to pay wages. They're not selling enough product to have enough people working on the factory lines or whatever.
Do you think it's nefarious? Because I was going to say, Canada might get hurt more than the U.S. and Mexico as well. They're going to get hurt more than the U.S. So because
100%.
So they're going to do that to Europe. Europe's going to hurt, right? Because the U.S. consumes a lot. So they're not. They don't really need to consume that much. We're all very consumerism,
Where do we get these things?
Exactly. From they get abroad, right?
China puts tariffs.
So if they're not consuming, they're just not spending their money on shit they don't need. The economies of the world are going to be worse off, and they're going to get stronger. I almost feel like that's part of that's a good idea, right? Because they're just consuming from everybody. They're always consuming. They have a trade deficit with everybody first. They just consume.
Right. So if you're consuming, everything goes up 25%. You're not going to be consuming as much. So what happens when you stop consuming? Businesses close. Restaurants close. The barbershop in your neighborhood closes. No one's cutting their hair as much as before.
And America, and the bad idea, I agree with you on that, because America is a very service economy. The service industry is huge. Tourism, restaurants. So if their economy goes to shit, and even like Europeans, even us, like Georgia's like, the wife's like, you want to go to Florida? And I'm like, I don't know. Florida for vacation next time? Fuck that. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to Canada. Let's spend our money in Canada. I literally told her that the other day. So they might take it. They're going to take a hard hit on tourism for sure, because people are going to be like, we're not going to US.
I think there's going to be, if he continues, there's going to be a global like fuck you, globally. People are going to like, what the fuck?
It's a risk they're taking.
Being assholes over here. That's one of my things. Their image, their world image, global image is going to be a bit tarnished, having these trade wars with countries.
And if people they're like, oh, you don't like us, well, screw you, NATO. They don't care. They don't care. Not serious people.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same. Also, there's another thing.
We needed someone on the other side of the spectrum in this conversation.
Anybody for tariffs? Anybody?
Kidding me? If anybody's for it,
What would be
crazy?
Well, I mean, we got to think about what good can come of it for them in the U.S.
For them?
Yeah.
For them.
There's got to be, right?
The manufacturing comes back home. That's what they want to do.
I still don't think it will come back.
I don't think so. People are going to pay more.
It's more expensive to build.
But they can sustain it.
It's probably going to be more expensive.
It takes too long to build.
To build here than just fucking paying the 25% tariff. We'll just pay the 20%. Just building factories or paying unionized jobs and stuff like that. It's going to cost just as expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, yes. So when Trump I don't know if everybody knows about this, but this trade war happened in his first administration with China, right? I think at one point it was 50%, 30%. I don't know. No, he's threatened that, but it was about 20 to 25%. He did a tariff on soy. No. China did a tariff on soy. All the soy farmers all of a sudden just dropped. Soy, like China was you can imagine China eating a lot of soy.
Yeah.
Their like whole market just disappeared thing. Trump, who's against paying out to the small guys, had to pay out farmers for a few until I don't know what happened. But it happened in his third year of his first term. So I don't know what
you had to pay him out.
You had to give like we did during COVID. Everyone got a check. They had to do checks like that for the farmers to support the farmers during the trade war.
That's what's going to happen again.
Exactly. So there's going to be these too big to fall kind of companies or agriculture or car industry, something like that.
Bail them out.
Going to bail them out. That's one of the things that they think they're going to subsidize businesses that are, if they go down, that there's going to be a lot of layoffs, and then his whole unemployment rate is going to skyrocket, and he's going to look bad as president.
You know who's not going to get bailed out? Small business owners.
Of course.
They're going to get fucked.
Of course not. the little mom and pop shops that they can't import their product that their people love, or they have to raise the prices. No one's gonna want to pay their shit because now it's probably more expensive. Yeah, you're right.
Well, it's happening tomorrow, and we shall see what the next few months are going to be like.